All right, the last game for Friday night, San Jose State, Washington State. Washington State, 14.5-point home favorites in the Palouse. 55 the total in this game. Actually, it's come down a bit. It's down to 14 now in most spots. So everyone has clearly gotten San Jose State wrong. Everyone thought this would be one of the worst teams in the country this year. Ken Niumatalolo's up against it, lost so much production last year. Defense was going to be terrible. The offense was going to have major question marks, totally rebuilt offensive line. And all this team has done is go 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread to start the year. And they've destroyed the point spread. Like the betting markets have been wrong, flat out wrong on San Jose State in the first 3 games. They won and covered against Sacramento State in the first game, 42-24. They won outright as dogs at Air Force, 17-7, albeit not the same Air Force team this year. They're definitely not as good. And then even last week, I took a small little piece of Kennesaw, plus 18. I said, this is the spot. Now we're asking San Jose State to lay 18. I know they've been much more impressive than I thought. I'm not sure they're ready for that yet. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, they covered again. 131-10 Saturday night at home against Kennesaw State. The key for them is, look, this defense, they're getting after it. The multiple sacks, they're doing a good job against the run. Kennesaw couldn't run the football a lick against them. Their quarterback, Davis Bryson, wasn't great. So their defense has clearly played way better than I thought so far this season. I thought they were going to be an awful defense, and they have played great. Now, this is going to be tougher, much tougher, obviously. A huge step up against Washington State. And the way John Mateer is playing at quarterback right now for Washington State, it is going to be a tougher ask. But San Jose State's own offense, Emmett Brown, they found something here. Emmett Brown's been really solid at quarterback. 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 61% completions. He's got the ability to move around a little bit as well. And more importantly, I think I'm ready to call him one of the best receivers. I don't know if overall in the country, one of the best receivers in the group of 5. That's for sure. Nick Nash, who actually started his San Jose career as a quarterback, and he's converted into a receiver. This guy every week is putting up video game numbers. 225 receiving yards last week against Kennesaw State, 3 receiving touchdowns. For the season, this guy has 485 receiving yards. He has 6 touchdowns already in 3 games. There's a great connection that he has with Emmett Brown. Bottom line here is when the betting markets are, and this happens every year, there's teams that start the year 3-0 against the spread. The betting markets have clearly undervalued them. And then there's teams that start the season 0-3 against the spread, and the betting markets have clearly overvalued them. When I see that happen, I am not betting against a team until they give me until I see them fail to cover a point spread for the first time. I ain't stepping in front of them, period. So I'm not stepping in front of San Jose State here. They've clearly been undervalued. The betting markets have been off. And until I see them correctly, power rate this team and price them correctly for the first time, which they have not, I'm not betting against them. Simple as that. So for me, by default, it's San Jose State or pass. And you can't love the spot for Washington State. You're coming off the huge Apple Cup win against Washington last week. A very impressive win outright as underdogs against the Huskies. You win the Apple Cup, take it away from Washington. Obviously, that's a huge rivalry every year. Will the focus be there to take care of business as a 2-touchdown favorite for Wazoo, albeit even at home where they're pretty good? I'm not so sure. Now, they are 5-0 against the spread dating back to last year. They've been a very good point spread team. Tough to bet against them, but boy, like I said, you can't love the spot. You're off the Apple Cup win. You're back home for this game against San Jose State. And do you know who you play next week? Oh, yeah, you go to Boise, and you take on Boise State on the road. So this is a nasty little sandwich situation here for Washington State. So crazy as it is, I'm leaning San Jose State here in this 3-0 ATS start that they've had. Like I say, you just can't love the spot for Washington State. I lean over, too, because I see Washington State moving the ball. I like their offense. Defense still a little shaky.
Yeah.
I think San Jose State, their defense has been awesome. But how much can you take away from Sacramento State facing them, Air Force facing them, and Kennesaw State? You're facing a real offense here in Washington State now. So I think over 55. Total might be a little light, in my opinion. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I looked at right at this total for you. I think it's like dating like to last year. This seems like this would be like 60 or even higher. You know, the games that they played, especially the defense. And I think it's just who these teams have played. And Washington State, a little bit lucky. You know, Texas Tech, a ton of turnovers. Washington would get to them, the mistakes kind of in that game for Fish, everything down at the goal line. You know, that was not great. But San Jose State, yeah, Brown has just been really good. You mentioned he's thrown for 300 a game, 9 TDs, 2 picks. He's been really, really good. And ever since they were down 24, you know, I didn't bet that game, but they were on my mind here with Sacramento, Havana, in that one. And they caught a lot of love. It basically down to a pick 'em. It was 24-21. They had the lead and just shut them down in the fourth quarter. 3 touchdowns from San Jose State. And just that was it. 42-24. It was like a 3-point lead to nothing. They just got their ass kicked. And I think that's a little skewed. As the defense playing great, but Air Force is really bad. They don't have an offense, and Kennesaw. So I think we get more of the defense a little bit from last year. One thing, San Jose State, though, they went on the road and played great last year. I know Hawaii's not beat them up at UNLV. I think they ended up winning that game, at UNLV. I'd have to double check that, but I think they won 37-31 there. They played great on the road. This is the sandwich spot, especially if you got, which there is still 4 teams, I think. I just know there's a few 13.5s. With Washington State, with that game on deck, Boise, it's just a tough sandwich, even at home. To me, this is the dog here, and I'm right with you. I kind of think the total's light. I just think we're catching a little bit lower total here because everything that's gone on the first few weeks.
All right, we both like dog.
Mateer has been really good too. And that was a great win. I love the win the last few weeks. You know, I've liked them both weeks.
Yep.
I thought they looked great against.
I was on Wazoo.
Texas
we talked about it, the Apple Cup. I think we both like Washington State there as a dog.
Yeah, so just a tough one here for them, even at home.
Yeah, should be interesting. This is actually a very interesting game. You'd think, come on, San Jose State, Washington State, who cares? I care. This is a very interesting game. San Jose State clearly better than anybody thought. And here's Washington State in a nasty sandwich spot in between the Apple Cup win against Washington and Boise on the road next week. How do they handle this here against a San Jose State team that's clearly outperformed market expectations, you know, to this point in the season?
2 red hot teams, ATS too. Like you're talking, you know, just been making, if you've been backing them, been making you money.
Absolutely. No question there.